I'm formatting my book for publication. Welcome back to Writer's Theory. I'm James Winterthorn, and in this video, I'm going to talk about the steps I'm going through to format Ghosts Horizon to get it ready to submit to Amazon KDP. I have been through the process of formatting before. I didn't do a lot of the formatting myself, if I'm being honest. My wife helped me with it a lot, and then we used BookBaby for publishing, and so they had some criteria to ready the document, and then they took it to the next step to get it ready to publish. But we did have to get the document ready, have the file in a good space. So I am familiar with this process. This isn't the first time I formatted a book for publication, both for print and for ebook. So today, I'm just going to share with you what the interior format looks like, what I decided to do for some formatting things like margins and headers, things like that. And then I'll take you through the last piece of the cover creation. I made a cover video several weeks ago, and I needed to adjust the spine width because I have a page count now. So I take you through that. I'm not a Photoshop expert, so I often find some of the Adobe programs, I have to do some learning myself as I'm going through them because I'm not an expert. But I did figure it out, and I'm going to share with you at least the time-lapsed effort that I made there. So let's get right into the interior formatting of the book, and I'll just talk over what I've done and share that with you. So I'm working in Microsoft Word here, and you see there's not a lot happening. I'll bounce back and forth, but I really just wanted to share with you what it looks like. So I have inch margins on the top and bottom. On the interior spine, I went 3/4 of an inch, I believe, and then 1/2 inch on the non-spine side. And I think that gives enough space for all of the text to look good. It gives enough space for the headers. I'm going to adjust. Right now I've got it set up where I have my name on the left. I have the book title on the right. I'm going to adjust that to chapter titles. I just tend to like that look better. But this is basically what the interior looks like. And I've done this across the entire book. It came out to, the story total was 205 pages. The total pages of the book will be 213. And we've built the front material. There's no back material, except just a blank page. So I've got everything I need to in terms of content now. And I know what we're seeing here. This is just the scrolling feature of Word. This isn't the a side-by-side layout. So all the odd numbers here will be on the right. You can see when it's like 6 and 7 like this, you can see that the margins are thicker in the middle. That's to allow for the binding. Because when they print books, they print out like the first and the last page together, the next page and the second to last page together. And they do that across the entirety of the book. And then they basically sandwich that whole thing together, and then a slicer will come through and just take off the edges there. So the thicker the book, the greater that middle margin needs to be, because you got to imagine if you had a 500-page book and you sandwich 500 pages, or I guess 250 pages together, you're going to end up with a lot of uh, potential bleed, and you're going to need more margin to accommodate that folding and cutting. This is only 200 pages, so it doesn't need to be that deep. But I think what I've got here is a good margin to account for the trim of the process of cutting the book. And so the trim size I opted for was 6x9. I like that book size for reading purposes. So when I buy books, I tend to look for the 6x9 paperbacks. I think that's the size that I like holding. It feels like just the tactile feel of a 6x9 book. I appreciate more than the mass trade 5.5x8 or 5x8, whatever that is. And I don't feel the need to do hardback. I guess I could, but let's just keep it simple, right? So I'm going to share with you now some of the work that I did on the cover and figuring out that process. So let's get into that. So there's a calculation here. So I needed a page count, the total page count, to figure that out. So it came out to 213 and multiplied it by that calculation. Got just over half an inch. So I figured out the number I needed to figure out the spine. This probably would have been wiser to do up front versus creating the cover and then going back to adjust it, because you'll see like half of my struggles here are just figuring out how to get the spine resized appropriately. And I do eventually figure this out, but it takes some effort on my part to figure out exactly how to get this done. And I just needed to basically unlink the aspect ratio. And once I figured that out, I was able to get it done, get it to the appropriate size. And I'm kind of baffled at how small it is. And it's not, I shouldn't be surprised. This is half the length of Chords of Fate, and this width size here is about half of that. So shouldn't be surprised. But you can see here, pulling the front and back cover along the spine. Hope that I got that right, so there's not a lot of bleed on either cover. But yeah, I put together the cover again, getting ready to submit everything, just checking the formats. We're wrapping up the interior body matter, and then we're going to move on to the ebook formatting, which is a little different. There's some things to consider with hard versus soft returns in the manuscript. So when I wrote it, I deliberately didn't do hard returns, because hard returns will foul up the file for ebook. So we're making sure that that's not there. This is still a very long manuscript, and so we're going to have to go through and check some of the ways that I created the document, including if there are in fact any hard returns, things like that. But the print version of Ghosts Horizon is effectively formatted. Like, we're some final tweaks and it'll be ready to go. And then we're going to move on to the ebook formatting and get that ready for upload. And my goal is by next week, this is uploaded, and who knows, maybe by the time the next video comes out, the book is for sale. So can't wait to share that with you. Yeah, this has been great. The formatting is generally pretty easy. Like I said, we've been through this before. So not a lot to figure out. It's just a matter of grinding out the work and being patient too. That's my problem, is I just want to get it done, and I tend to accept things that I shouldn't, like just doing my name and the book title across the entire book versus chapter titles in the header, things like that. I just want to just click OK and be done versus taking the time to make sure that it looks great, because we spent so much time. I spent so much time writing it. We spent so much time editing it. What is a couple more hours formatting it in a way that presents it better? So we're going to continue that work. If you want to see how that goes, and you want to see me click the final OK for submitting to Amazon, well, please like and subscribe. We do other writing-related content as well here at Writer's Theory. So I'm going to get back to formatting this book, and I will see you in the next video.